Okay, great. We're live. Hi, we're back in South Carolina, and I'm with Robin McCants, fabulous high school English teacher. And today we're doing something for the first time. We're putting a real live comedian together with a high school student. And they're going to work on the one funny speech in Macbeth. So, are we good to go, Robin, do you think?
We are. This is Scott Jordan, who is our comedian on our end of things, and he's going to work with you guys to do the Porter scene. All right?
Yep.
See
Okay.
you guys later on then. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Hey, Scott.
How's it
We
going?
we talked before, and I noticed you were such a standout in the Hello South Carolina hangout that we did. You made me laugh so much by doing the George Bush impression. So I wanted to just take this opportunity to get you together with my son, who is a comedian, and he's working in New York as a stand-up and sketch artist, and he performed a couple of weeks ago at a college in upstate New York with some friends, and he's been funny for a long time, and so I think that's quite enough, right? Quite enough from me. So I'm just going to give my chair up to Keele and let you guys have some fun. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, that was great. Okay, how you doing, Scott?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. It's great to have your mom bring you up. Um, that's never happened, and hopefully that'll never happen again. Okay, so you did. This is the adaptation, her adaptation of the Macbeth play, right? And then I don't remember the story exactly. How did it come up that you're gonna do like a voice with it?
Yeah, George W. Bush. Bush.
And that was your idea?
Um, Actually, it was your mother's idea, I believe, because it made her laugh so much.
That's
I was
awesome.
giving examples of what talent I have when I was talking about myself when we were introducing each person individually.
And so do you do like a lot of voices?
Well, I can do Forrest Gump and somewhat Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
I like to goof around with them a lot.
That's great, man. That's so cool. Well, do you want to we're working on this speech. Do you want to just do it once and then we'll work on it from there?
How about a couple practice takes? Is that good?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Okay, yeah, sure.
just read through it once and then we'll get into it and break it up. All right. So whenever you're ready.
All right. Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I, the name of the Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Coming time. Have napkins and now about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there? And the other devil's name. Faith. Here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake. You could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith. Here's an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock. Never quiet. Who are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter. I'll devil porter it no further. I thought to have let in some of all the professions that go in the primrose. Way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you remember the porter.
That was great, man. That was great. Okay. So you're doing the actual speech.
That is the actual speech, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought we were working on the adapted one.
I wasn't given the adapted one. Where can I find that at if you want to?
No. We can do this one. We can dive into real Shakespeare if you want to dive in. That was great. So, okay, so you did a really good Bush. That was great.
Sir.
Have you been doing him since he was in office, or?
Actually, I have my route to doing this and practicing it was Gabriel Iglesias.
Okay. Okay.
He's a like Spanish fat, not
Yeah, no, I know.
not yeah, fat, not fluffy.
Yeah, he's huge. His career and his body are huge. That's great. So you saw him doing Bush?
It was sounded like Bush to me, but I guess it was supposed to be what's the other president? Bill Clinton.
And so you thought that sounds a little bushy. I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
that's great, man. Cool. Have you ever Pablo Francisco would be great. Do you know about him?
Who does all those voices?
He does a ton of voices.
Yeah.
He's a very high energy act.
Did he he did Shaquille O'Neal before. Oh my god. Right?
Yeah, I feel he's done a ton of impressions, but Pablo Francisco would be a good guy to look up,
Oh yeah.
especially if you like Iglesias. But anyway, so let's start. Let's just start from the beginning and go till like. So like come in time. From here's a knocking indeed to come in time.
Come in time.
You see where that is? After here's a farmer that hanged himself on expectation of plenty, come in time.
Come in time. That's like halfway through, isn't it?
That's like the first
Equivocator.
quarter maybe.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Come in time. I see it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll highlight right before it so I know when to stop.
Yeah. And you can like slow down.
Yeah.
And really enjoy. I when you stumbled over some words there,
Yeah.
that was great because so would he.
Yeah, because he's not very good at speeches.
Right.
He has to joke around a bit.
Yeah, so I think the way to do the speech would be like because it's your impression of George Bush, right? But another layer like a little like a sort of meta whatever of this would be your impression of George Bush like auditioning for the role. You know what I mean?
Hand movement there.
So like he's out of office, he's bored, and so now he's auditioning for a Shakespeare play. So like have fun in the character of Bush, not really knowing what the speech means.
All right.
Do you know what I mean?
Bush.
Yeah. So you're gonna just start and take your time.
All right. Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hell Gate, he should have old turning the key. Knock. 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 Who's there? The name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in. Come in time. Come in time.
Okay, that was great. So I think when you're saying here's a knocking indeed, if a man were a porter of Hell Gate, he should have old turning the key.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a Shakespeare expert.
Me either.
I do a lot of stand-up in dirty clubs, so that's what I know. But if we were to say like in really plain English, what does that mean to you? It kind of feels like he's talking to himself or to the audience.
Yeah.
Right? He's saying, here's a knocking indeed, commenting on it.
Yeah.
And then I think he's talking about, I think the porter is sort of reflecting on his job
Yeah.
and answering the door, basically. And if he's the porter of hell, like how well practiced he'd be of opening the door for people that are going to hell. So
A Walmart greeter, if you must.
right, right, exactly. So I think when you say like knock, 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 you can do that faster,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
because it's just a sound effect for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then things like who's there, and you can say like Beelzebub, like Bub is a very for that Beelzebub name.
Beelzebub. I've heard it sometimes in old English, but not really.
Yeah, me either. But the bub part, I think the Bush would latch on to.
Bub.
Yeah, you've got that in there. And then I think when you talk about like, here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty, you know how politicians make up examples about people in their speeches? Like, I was down in Louisiana, I met this farmer, he's just doing the best he can. Try to say it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like, here's a farmer, he'd hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. We've all hanged ourselves on the expectation of plenty. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And come in time. And let's just start from that. Let's do that part again.
All right. You know what, folks? Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hell Gate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time.
That's great, man. That's great. I think I watched a couple of like clips of Bush today because I knew this was happening.
Yeah.
Have fun with. So you remember when he would talk to the country, and he would just randomly pick pauses to take to like heighten the meaning.
Yeah.
That's a tool you can use.
Like Obama does with his pausing.
Yeah, I mean, like most presidents do it, but I think that you couldn't tell if he was pausing because he was trying to figure out what the next word was,
Yeah.
or if it was for dramatic effect. You know, it was a different kind of pausing. So when you do like, here's a knocking indeed, like you've been woken up by the knocking. You know, like you're discovering it. I think you nailed the if a man were a porter of Hellgate, you should have old turning the key. You can just do Bush, like when you say knock knock knock, you're just saying instead of like rapping the table, you're saying it. So you can just do it really like knock knock knock, and then you can take your time pretending to answer as him going like, well, who's there? You know, like you're surprised by yourself. And then you can go, it's this Beelzebub, and the way you did the farmer thing was great, and then let's just keep going.
All right.
Let me just say one thing, because I'm listening to it on another computer. We're having trouble hearing Scott.
Okay, so I just got word from the tech room. If you wanna get up on the mic a little bit more when you're doing it.
Like this?
Yeah, and don't worry about how you look.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, 'cause your voice is your voice is the star of this performance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're very low production value here. So let your voice pretend it's a radio show. Okay? And really take your time to let each word hit. Because the other thing is like, just because of the internet, the way it's going to be, they're hanging on you. So enjoy each word a little more and be up on the mic a little bit. But the knock 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 is still fast. Okay?
All right.
So let's do it from the top.
All right. Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hell Gate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I've a name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer. A farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time.
Okay, okay, that's really good. Okay, here's the new idea
Mhm.
that I had. Get the speech right in front of the mic. Like, get it. Like, can you put the microphone so like it's just the microphone and then the paper, so you don't have to turn away from the mic at all to read it.
No, I do not, sir.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So let's read the whole speech.
All right.
Really, really take your time.
Will do.
Like, really, like, don't, like, here's a knocking indeed. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to rush at all. But I would say pretend like you're Bush saying the most serious speech he's ever said in his whole political career. Like, this is the darkest news he's ever told anyone.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just try it that way one time. Whenever you're ready, take a breath. If you want to do a big ha ha ha, you know, get yourself loose.
All right. Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of hell gate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins and now about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the other devil's name, Faith. Here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith. Here's an English tailor. Come hither. For stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here, you may roast your goose. Knock, knock. Never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all the professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you, remember the porter.
Okay. Good job, buddy. That was great.
Hmm?
The only thing technically,
Yes?
just for the what we have here, your voice is great, but your breath sometimes is like is making static happen.
Oh, yeah?
For me anyway when I hear it. So try to let's just I think let's do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you have is let's do it like it's like a political speech at like a rally, you know? Maybe there's a lot of troops there, a lot of families of the troops and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think here's a farmer. You're using an example of a person you met.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do, when you say faith, here's an equivocator. It's a different example, so you picture somebody else in your head. When you do the English tailor, that's another person. And whenever you feel like it, take a moment to like look at the crowd. Do you know what I mean? Like take beats where it's like, did you guys hear how great that was? That last thing I said that was so serious. All right, back into the speech. Okay?
Yeah.
Because this is serious business here, and we really need to you need to explain how serious the situation is of the life of a porter.
All right.
Okay.
The sound still, that microphone. I don't know if there's any other thing. Has he got any earbuds and then he could plug directly into a CPU?
Hey Scott, can you hear her? Yeah, yeah.
Just
Can you do
try
that
it.
so you hear yourself?
And then if you could
Um,
plug it into the CPU, the sound might go more directly or something. I don't know.
Is there a way for you to use the headphones to hear your own voice?
um, I do not know that. I can test it
If he
out.
just puts them in his ears and then plugs the thing into the CPU, the sound that comes out might be purer instead of using that mic that's on the desktop.
Just plug them in and see what happens.
All right, we'll do.
Because he's really funny. It's coming across really well.
You're doing great though, man. It's
Thanks.
really natural, funny. When you make your video games, you got to do voices of the characters.
Yeah.
You should try and do that.
Can you hear me just fine here?
I can hear you. Can you hear you?
Um,
Do a second of Bush and see if you can hear it.
um,
Did he unplug the microphone?
did I unplug my phone? Let's see. It's,
Yeah, see
No.
that?
Is that so? Is this plugged into
Can
the
you-
actual CPU?
Can you
That's
hear
the
me?
one. No.
Can you plug the mic back in?
I'm just wondering if he can't put his headphones
It's not going to
into
be
that.
perfect.
No.
I can hear you, but yeah, the sound's coming through these headphones though. So
For
maybe
you.
I have to change this. These headphones have a microphone, so maybe I can. But
I think leave the microphone. But when you talk, do you hear you in your ears?
not digitally, but in like, it's muffled. So no, it's not what I'm hearing through the net. It's
They're not sound recording ones.
Yeah. Okay, well don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Just
I wish they were.
yeah, that'd be so cool. Okay, so don't worry about it. Just let's do it as though you are at a podium and there's a massive crowd. You know?
Yeah.
So you can take your time to address the crowd with your eyes during your pauses, and that should help you slow it down a little bit. Like, yeah, let's just try it like that, and just be. I think like if you want to, have you seen like clips of like the old like when they were doing blacklisting, or like anytime in a movie where a guy is before the Senate and there's a mic and he like leans in it to talk but then leans away to listen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, Senator, I plead the fifth, and then they lead back, right? You know what I'm talking about? So deliver the words in there, and then when you have a breath, you can ease up a little bit, so that way you don't static the mic.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's do it from the top.
Okay. I'm gonna put a stand on it, so
There you go.
I'm leaning on and.
If you want to see yourself when you're speaking to him,
I don't matter. I want to see him.
you can click yourself if you want.
Can you hear me just fine?
I can hear you just fine.
All right.
See?
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hell Gate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins and now about you. Here, you'll sweat fort. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith. Here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake. yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Come in. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Here's an English tailor come hither for stealing out a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here, you may roast your goose. Roast it as you please. No, never quite. Who are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll never porter it no further. No further. All right. I'd have thought to have let in some of all the professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you remember the porter.
That's so great, man. That was awesome. Dude. That was so funny. I think we're getting pretty close. I don't want to like just like whatever. Okay, so the thing you were naturally doing that time that was so fun was like when you said faith. Okay, so it was not the second knock knock.
Mm-hmm.
You were like you were bothered by this knocking, and you were like, "Who's there?" So it was sort of aggressive. Who's there? And then you decided that just like he would in a speech, faith. He's an equivocator. Were words he likes.
Yeah.
So you said them like who's there? Faith. Faith is an equivocator. You know what I mean?
Best friend.
Yeah, exactly. So just go further with that, and the way you were like, you were going to the side, like you were using the mic, like, okay, this is part of this crowd over here. We're gonna talk to the mothers over there. We got these guys up front. Like that was beautiful. Use the mic more that way. So I think the more you move around it and it's stationary on the stand was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really funny, man. Let's do it again and just go further. And you were doing a little like a couple words you were adding in. That's fine. Not when we're doing real Shakespeare, but today, right now, it's fine.
All right.
So mess around again and just let the knocks be even more sound effects, and then respond to them like they bother you, and then you let in a new friend. Each time it's a new friend. Okay?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah. He's faith. He's an equivocator, you know? And when you were leading around, it was just so great. So let's just do it from the top, and you're great, man. You're brilliant.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I name a Beelzebub. Well, here's a farmer. A farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. If you know what I mean. Come in time, have napkins and now about you. Here, you'll sweat fort. Knock, knock. Who's there? Who is there? In the other devil's name, you know who it is? It's faith. And here's an equivocator. An equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale. Who committed treason, enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith. Oh, Faith. Here's an English tailor come hither. We're stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Roast it as you may. Knock, knock. Never act quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll never porter it no further. I thought they have let in some of all professions that go to Primrose. The Primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you. And I please, please remember the porter for who I am.
That was great, man. Really good. So let's
One more time, I should think, and that's it.
go through it this time, but so that when you're, because I want when you do it the final time, I want you to feel free to play. But for me, when if I'm doing a speech, what helps me have a skeleton in my mind is to break the beats down.
Yeah.
So like a beat is a thought, okay?
Yeah.
So if you want it, let's just go through it. Do you have a copy that you can make? Do you have a pencil?
I can get a pencil and write down.
Yeah, let's grab you a pencil.
Yeah.
That was so funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like the first time better than that last one, but it was really good.
If you click on the image of yourself, you bring yourself up.
I don't
Did you
care.
know that? I know, but it would be nice to see you as well.
Oh, you mean for like the recording?
Yeah.
Oh, still here. Still here, guys. He's doing great, right? It's so funny. I guess he's getting a pencil. I have one, so I came prepared.
Sorry about that.
It's all good, man. Let me go back.
All right.
Okay, so I think here's a knocking indeed.
Mm-hmm.
If a man were a porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. That's kind of this. That's all one moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can just put like a slash or like a backslash in between porter or in between key and the knock. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like helping you take a breath or change gears a little bit. You know? So you can have control of the rhythm. What?
Put a slash between which words of the here's knocking indeed if a man were a porter of Hellgate.
If a man were he should have old turning the key
Put a slash between those.
between key and knock.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then every time you do every time you say knock, knock, knock,
Mm-hmm.
You don't have like I feel like you're feeling pressure to make it more than it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just knocking. Like that's all it is. So you can just say it, and if you want to like rap the table the way he would, like it's just a knock, knock, knock. You know,
Knock, knock, knock.
that's all it is. And then you go back into who's there. Every time you say who's there, really have fun with that.
Oh, we have to.
Wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So every time you say who's there, have fun with the bush.
Yeah.
The bush way of saying that. And let's just read it this last time. This will be the one.
All right.
Okay. And don't lean on your hand.
Yeah?
Because it kills your energy a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
So just really like, if you want to stand up, if you want to do a quick shake, if you want to like hold your shoulders and drop them down, you know, give the old stretch of the neck.
Yep.
Maybe a little hum and a little tapping of your chest, you know, really get that voice going good.
Yeah.
And just just picture the crowd and the way that he kind of gives that half smile when he thinks he's explaining something smart, you know,
Mhm.
and just have fun with the words that he would have fun with, and just really deliver this as a speech, you know, that's got little stories in it. But you're doing it great. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the President of the United States, George W. Bush.
How are y'all doing? All right. Well, here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hell Gate, he should have turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I, the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in, time. Have napkins and now about you. Here, you'll sweat fort. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the other devil's name, Faith. Faith. Here's an equivocator. An equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale. Who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Come on in. Well, knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith. Here's an English tailor. Come hither. For stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Roast it as you please. Knock, knock. Never it quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for Harold. I'll devil porter it no further. It's out of my hands. And I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you. And when I say this, you better listen. Remember the porter. Thank you very much.
That was so good, man. That was so great. Dude, it was so great. It was wonderful to meet you.
Same.
Best of luck to you. And good luck with everything, man. It was really great.
It's been really fun.
Have fun. I'm gonna turn it back to the boss here. But you have a great day, and you killed it, man. It was great.
You the same. Good luck out there, man.
Thank you.
Scott, that was so much fun. I hope you had, even if you had half the fun I had watching that. That was a good time. That was brilliant. I just love to see you two. You just really just took it and took it and took it. That was just, I can't wait to watch it again. Anyway, I don't want to get you in trouble, so you better go to the next thing. But thanks so much. Thanks so much. This was just great to get you guys together.
Well, thank you, and it's also been a pleasure.
Oh, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.